which you ran? Hurroo, hurroo. Where are the legs with which you ran? Hurroo, hurroo. Where are the legs with which you ran when first you went to carry a gun? And indeed you'd done, 3 days are done. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. But darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. We're happy for to see you home. Hurroo, hurroo. We're happy for to see you home. Hurroo, hurroo. We're happy for to see you home. Home from the island of Ceylon. Ha ha the flesh, ha ha the wound. Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. Drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. But darling dear, you look so queer. Johnny, I hardly knew ya.
That'll do, Sakes. That'll do, all of you.
Oh, what's the harm in a song, Brodie? Since we're going back to Home Sweet Home, it's only natural we be singing.
I'll hear no disrespect to Her Majesty.
Disrespect? Hey, Tolliver, Bristow, tell him. Was the widow even mentioned?
Not once, not once. It's only a song.
That's right, only a song about you and me and all the other poor coves on board this ship.
Aye, not forgetting some that should be on board but aren't.
They haven't been forgotten. Look, there's a few laggards left to sign, but there's still 3 days before we make port.
Yeah, there's simpler ways of doing it.
It'll be done according to the regulations.
Oh, regulations. The army's your father and your mother. The army whelped you.
Aye, I joined as a drummer boy, and I'll hear no words spoken against it. Nor its regulations. We're just seeing they're kept as they should be. You've got a mutinous mind, Sykes, and I'll have none of that.
Look, mutiny's what you're holding in your hand.
No, it's justice. Justice according to the regulations. You Barker, you're one that hasn't signed. Now go on, make your mark like a man.
So, now we're all in it together.
Aye.
Yeah, well, watch out for the sun. He'll be making his rounds soon.
Do you reckon he's doing this right?
I reckon he's been out in the sun too long, along with the rest of us. We're happy for to see you home, home from the island of Ceylon. Ha ha the flesh, ha ha the wound. Johnny, I hardly knew ya.
Even allowing for the flamboyance with which the facts are presented, the newspaper account indicates how serious this matter is.
I never doubted it, Sir John. But since the threats are directed at Captain Marchmont, I'm surprised he didn't report them himself. We don't usually receive our information second hand or from a newspaper.
Quite so, Superintendent Rodway. The captain, however, is a young man of such sterling worth and character that he tends to regard them as cowardly abuse beneath contempt.
Rather foolhardy.
Courageous is the term I should prefer to use. I had the greatest difficulty in persuading him that this was not only a matter of his own personal safety, but that the interests of the party were involved too.
Ah, Sir John Fincham, this is Sergeant Cork. Sir John is here on behalf of a Captain David Marchmont. The captain has been receiving threats to his life.
Oh, I see. May I ask, sir, what is your interest in this matter?
Captain Marchmont is representing my party at the forthcoming by-election in Pursley.
Ah, Marchmont. The name's familiar.
So it should. His heroism on the Indian Northwest frontier was a matter of public pride some 2 years ago.
Oh, useful attribute for a parliamentary candidate. And have you any ideas or suspicions as to the source of these threats, sir?
Sergeant, I'm well aware of what the source is.
Ah, now that should be quite useful, if you would be so kind as to...
I should have thought you might have been able to guess at their identity, Mr. Rodway. This nation stands at the crossroads of decision. To pursue our destiny with firmness and resolution, or to retreat with ignominy and shame in the face of anarchy and disorder.
Fred, I don't quite follow you, sir.
Well, I refer, of course, to the burning issue of our times, the Irish question.
Oh, not the Fenians again. Don't say they're behind this.
But I do say it, Sergeant. When I tell you that Captain Marchmont is fighting this election as an advocate of resolute government in Ireland, it becomes obvious who the culprits are.
I'm afraid that doesn't narrow the field very much, sir. If we knew who the Fenians were, we'd have had them inside already.
How were the threats made, sir?
By post.
Thank you. And the envelope, sir?
Never occurred to us that you'd need them. They've been destroyed, I'm afraid.
Well, the postmark might have been useful, but still.
I'm especially concerned now that the hustings have opened. Marchmont will be addressing a number of open-air meetings starting this evening. And a more favourable circumstance for dastardly assassination it would be difficult to conceive.
We shall arrange for his protection, sir.
Excellent. I suggest at least a dozen constables with a like number of detectives mingling with the crowd.
Well, I'm afraid our resources are rather limited. Besides, I don't think we should make ourselves too conspicuous. Do you know if the other candidate received similar threats?
I should consider that most unlikely. He tends to favour the complete abdication of our responsibilities in Ireland. Mind you, I wouldn't say he actually sympathises with the Fenians. Well, that is, I wouldn't say it in public. But I hold to my own views, Mr. Rodway.
You should say that all these letters were written by the same person, sir.
A strange conclusion, Sergeant.
There's been a very poor attempt to vary and disguise the handwriting, sir, but certain characteristics are constant.
Well, you know your own job best. I take it that the matter of the captain's safety will be put in hand immediately.
Of course, sir. Where does he live?
Well, during the hustings, he'll be staying with his father, General Sir Clive Marchant, at Pursley Hall. Well, now I must thank you and say farewell.
Good day, Sir John.
Sir.
I look forward to seeing your men arrive this afternoon.
He seems to have a very clear idea as to what I should do.
Yeah.
Still, he's a very influential man. Can't afford to ignore him. Besides, there might be something in it.
Yes, if the newspapers anything to go by, why tell them before he told us?
Well, the publicity isn't going to do his candidate any harm, is it? Take charge of this, Corky, will you?
Pleasure, sir. Never had such a force under my command before. Well, a dozen constables, a dozen detectives.
You'll have Marriott, and that's all.
Yes. I thought it might come out that way, Charlie.
Give us a bit of peace. They got us back.
Peace is the last thing you get once you take the shilling.
Me and Tom, we didn't have much choice. We was out of work, see? The old man was grousing about keeping us in grub. And we met this recruiting sergeant, a big fellow he was. We met him in a pub.
Aye, you would.
Yeah, you're a couple of likely-looking lads, he said. What are you doing catching drinks when you could be setting them up for the company?
Oh, well, he didn't know you, did he?
But on the Scarlet, he says, the girls will love you, the Queen will love you, and I'll love you. Head regular, money to jingle in your pockets, and full military honours if you should happen to have your head blown off. So off we went to fight for the widow.
Your brother got the lot, didn't he? Including the full military honours.
Yeah. Tom got the lot. What was left of it?
Now, mate, I fancied seeing a bit of the world.
Aye, well, you're so India, so what are you complaining about? Here, let me have that.
Hey, you'd make a good recruiting sergeant, Brady.
Yeah, he would. How long have you been in, Brody? 15, 20 years? Funny they never made you sergeant.
I was, once.
Yeah? Well, tell us about it. What happened? Bit of trouble with the colonel's wife, eh? Don't tell me. You got a dirty conduct sheet.
I struck an officer on active duty.
Did you? That means full-field punishment, doesn't it?
That means being strapped to a gun wheel for 24 hours, with every salvo shaking the flesh loose from your bones.
A dirty skites.
No, they were right. They were right. There's no discipline without punishment. and the punishment was in accordance with the regulations.
I don't see what that's got to do with it.
No, you wouldn't. No with any of you. But I'm a soldier born and bred. Not some fool that they bought for a pint of ale and a handful of promises.
Oh, well, a fat lot of good it's done you.
I didn't complain then, and I'm not complaining now. But when they untied me from that gun wheel, I swore by Almighty God that if one of them ever defaulted, he'd answer for it in accordance with the same regulations.
Yeah. Well, are you going to see the cows and the pigs if we get a spot of leave, eh?
No. I don't think they'd remember me.
Oh, but the girls might. Oh, why'd you skedaddle with me and the child? Johnny hardly knew ya.
No, that's not the reason. And anyway, the way things look, there won't be any leave.
Huh?
The Sudan. That's our next stop, I'll tell you.
Blimey, you might be right. Sand, flies, and stinking camels.
Time for the swell.
Hey, Brody.
What?
Brody, look at that.
Eh?
Down the bottom of the page. Marchman isn't exactly short of enemies, is he?
Yeah, these threats. Did you send them?
Oh, that's likely, isn't it? It's likely any of us would warn him.
Then who sent them?
I don't know, and it doesn't matter. This alters things, eh? I mean, it alters things if they think the Irish is out after.
How?
Look, he's making this speech tonight on Pursley Common. That's a big place, lots of people. They blame the Fenians. There's no risk and no suspicion.
No.
Now, look, I could do it. You remember that last patrol? That Afghan scout by the hill? That was a 300-yard shot and into the sun at that, and I took him clear through the throat.
No, we're not murderers. We'll do it as we agreed.
I may have signed your paper, but I didn't agree to anything.
As we agreed! Sykes, now be warned.
Mr. Marriott?
Oh, my apologies, Mrs. Marchmont. I was admiring this fine specimen. One of the General's trophies?
Yes. My father-in-law was a legend in Bengal, both for his marksmanship and his bravery. He admires courage above all else.
I must say I'm heartily glad it's dead.
I've never seen one that wasn't. In spite of being born and brought up in India.
Oh, no doubt Captain Marchmont amply supplied your own home with similar prizes.
No. My husband was never enthusiastic about hunting.
I see.
I take it you wish to see him about these threats he's been receiving.
Yes, unfortunately the envelopes appear to have been destroyed. I was wondering if anyone by any chance happened to notice the postmarks.
Well, I don't think so. I certainly didn't, and I usually place my husband's mail on the breakfast table.
I see. Perhaps you remember something odd or unusual about the letters.
To be perfectly honest, Mr. Marriott, I don't remember them at all.
But they were only delivered last week.
I can't understand it. I'm not usually so forgetful. Do you think he's in any real danger?
Well, his political opinions aren't very popular with certain people.
Politics. I could almost wish he was still in the army.
He must hold his views very strongly to abandon one career and start another.
Well, he was forced to relinquish his commission. The wound he received disabled one of his legs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But surely a Victoria Cross is some consolation.
Perhaps. Though I think the General's pride in the award is greater even than that of my husband. Oh, but won't you be seated, Mr. Marriott?
Ah, thank you very much.
And perhaps you would care for tea while you wait?
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Ah, you'll be the policeman, fellow, I suppose.
Yes.
We've been expecting you.
Mr. Marriott, General Sir Clive Marchmont, and this is my husband.
Sir Clive, Captain, how do you do?
I'm sorry I wasn't here to receive you, Mr.
Marriott.
Marriott. I thought Sir John spoke to a sergeant. Cork, something like that, yes.
Yes, my colleague. He'll be along later, sir.
Yeah.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll arrange for tea to be served.
Sir John mentioned you were making a speech tonight, sir.
Yes.
We'd like to station ourselves at some point from which we can observe the crowd.
Yes, of course. Sir John will arrange it for you. Sir John's arranging everything to do with my campaign. Will there be anything else?
Well, I take it there'll be other public meetings.
Indeed, several.
Well, as we'll be on surveillance until the end of your campaign, I wonder if you'd let me have the dates, times, places, you know?
Certainly. Sir John's drawn up a list. It's in my room. If you'll excuse me, I'll go and fetch it.
Thank you, Captain.
Personally, I find politics a terrifying business, Mr. Marriott. I'm glad I chose blunt, honest soldiering.
Well, it seems that one is becoming as dangerous as the other.
Oh, I'm not over-impressed by the rantings of a pack of Dublin sewer rats. Though not that I've got anything against the Irish. Decent, simple people who know their place, most of them. But then this same simplicity, it makes them easy prey for any radical or agitator who happens along. Yes, sit down, sit down. You, won't remember the Indian Mutiny of '57?
No, I wasn't born then.
Yeah. I hadn't been long commissioned when the sepoys rose. Much the same sort of thing. The action we took then was direct, but none can deny it was effective. I'm all for direct action.
Is your son, sir?
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, still waters, you know. Underneath it all is a man of courage and action.
Well, the Victoria Cross isn't lightly given.
Oh, no, indeed. It was on the Khyber Pass, you know, where the plains sweep up into the hills. The country of the tribesmen. Afghans, Afridi, Pathans, lean, hawk-faced men and warriors, all of them.
As I remember it, the patrol was ambushed, wasn't it, sir?
Ambushed and outnumbered. He led his men in a gallant, hopeless action. Half his men gone, Briars, his junior officer, gone. Then, when the ammunition was running out, he galloped through the tribesmen to fetch reinforcements.
Well, it's fortunate he brought them in time, isn't
Well, rifle fire had been heard and a relieving force was on the way, but when they met him, he was badly wounded and almost unconscious. Straight through the enemy, cutting to left and right with his saber. A man like that's not going to be put off with a few cowardly threats.
No.
Ah, David, Mr. Marriott was just asking about your experiences in the Khyber.
No wonder you bother collecting your pay, considering how long you keep it.
Well, it's better than sitting here counting your buttons. Or standing guard in the freezing rain. When they let us out for a spot of fun.
When they think it's fitting.
Sykes didn't reckon on waiting that long. He upped and off half an hour ago.
They couldn't have. I was on the gate and he didn't pass.
He didn't have to. There's a place just behind the stables where there was no iron on a full-length stretch.
Did he say where he was going?
He didn't have to. After 5 years with the Dusky Maidens, you take a notion for white meat. Thank you.
I know that I speak for all of you when I say we will never allow threats or intimidation to sway us from our duty. That sacred duty that was handed down to us by our glorious ancestry. The Irish Home Rule Bill is a betrayal of our imperial destiny. I wonder if our other candidates, Mr. James Spragg, or should it be James O. Spragg, has considered this.
I'm standing in the puddle here.
Perhaps
Our last show, I would send them scuttling home.
I'm not
Certainly holding his
suggesting he's
audience.
actually a Fenian sympathizer.
I've got the Fenians to thank for that.
Not for me to say, but
They're waiting to see if he'll disappear with a loud bang.
But I do
cloud
say
of
that his
cordite.
attitude
You
encourages
don't think they'll throw a
force
bomb at him? We're only standing 10 feet away.
John
I know,
Bull's
and
other
I'm in a
eyes
puddle, too.
to a place where anarchy reigns and young maidens tremble for their virtue. But there are others who hold a different view. One man in particular, a man distinguished in battle, revered by his men, and honored by his queen. A man who faces the gravest danger by being with us here tonight. I'm privileged to present to you your candidate, no, your representative, Captain David Marchmont.
Electors of Thursday, as you know, I stand on the issue of resolute government for Ireland. I have seen our gallant soldiers go willingly into battle, knowing that they were doing their duty. I assure you that if I am chosen, I will guard those precious rights and freedoms so dear to every decent man in this country of ours.
Sykes! Sykes! Damn you, Sykes, where are you?
Oh, good heavens! Good! What happened?
Damn it, Corky. The man might have been killed, and you were there, on the spot.
I suppose if I'd been a bit quicker on my feet, I could have thrown myself on the path of the oncoming bullet.
Now, don't take that attitude. I'm the one being held responsible for your incompetence.
May I remind you, the original request were for 24 assorted policemen. What do you supply? A man and a boy.
That will do, Sergeant. Where is Marriott, anyway?
Tramping round Pursley Common. I sent him there to see what he could find. Not that he'll find anything. It's a large place full of thickets and long grass. That shot could have come from anywhere.
I want every inch searched thoroughly. Every inch, you hear? You can have as many constables as you like.
Strange what a capacity these Fenians have for killing the wrong man. I'm thinking of that business at Phoenix Park 10 years ago. Lord Frederick Cavendish.
Yes. All right, set him up. Well, they didn't kill Sir John, and he's downstairs. I don't suppose I'll be sitting in behind that desk for very much longer.
It wasn't your fault, Charlie, not entirely.
What do you mean? Corky, I think you better let me do the talking. I don't want you to put your foot in it.
Flattered to have your confidence, thank you.
Now, we have to be very conciliatory. Admit our mistakes, apologize, sympathize, placate him in every way. My dear Sir John, may I say how sorry I was to hear of the injury you received, and how relieved I am it wasn't more serious. Sergeant, a chair for Sir John.
Thank you, Superintendent.
You have my personal assurance that no effort is being spared to apprehend the culprits. I also intend to deal very strongly with any negligence I discover on our side. Yes, I shall investigate that aspect very thoroughly.
Superintendent, I'm here against the express wishes of my physician because I feel that, might I ask what direction your inquiries are taking?
We're trying to discover who wrote the letters, sir.
Yes, I thought as much. I wrote them.
You wrote them?
Yes, I wrote them.
Why did you write them?
Well, I'm sure you'll treat this as being entirely confidential, but I felt my actions might have misled you to some extent and thereby hindered your investigations.
But why'd you tell us a pack of lies, sir?
Well, the Pursley by-election is a rather important one, and I felt that any public sympathy for Captain Marchmont might be useful, you understand.
Quite.
But you must appreciate my position. Our policies on the Irish question are the only right and proper ones, and having established that our ends were just, the means of achieving them became irrelevant. You take my point, Sergeant.
Quite, sir, quite.
This is very serious, Sir John. You must have had quite a shock last night in more ways than one.
I've never been so surprised in my life.
Permit me to share your surprise. You come here waving a bundle of forgeries and babbling about the Fenians.
Well, in view of what happened last night, I think you must agree I merely anticipated the event. Clearly, this was a Fenian outrage.
Well, first of all, it leads up the garden path, and then... Forgive me, sir, but I didn't know you were a politician. I should have guessed so very quickly.
Sergeant!
I propose we treat this as being water under the bridge. At any rate, the assassins are still on the loose, and their capture becomes even more imperative.
We are very concerned about Captain Marchmont's safety, sir.
Captain Marchmont? Oh, well, there is that, of course.
What else, sir?
Well, hasn't it occurred to you they might actually have been shooting at me?
I'll try and bear that in mind, sir.
Well, having reached an understanding, I must take my leave.
Good day, Sir John.
Good day, Mr. Otway.
Shake 'em up, lad, and see that they're well shook.
What's this, then?
You know fine what it is. Are we all agreed it's fair, square, and in the open?
Yeah. So soon?
Tonight. There are reasons why it has to be tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm with picking lots for this special detail.
Aye, all fair and square. 5 men and me. We can't be hanged without the hanging the whole regiment.
Oh, now, that'd be a pretty sight. A row of gallows with scarlet flowers dangling from it. I've seen a bush like that once. Who gives the order?
If it's necessary, I give the order. So write your name, Bristow, and put it along with the others.
And who draws?
I draw.
So, now it's all settled.
Aye, now it's settled. Well, we'll need a few bits and pieces. We'll need a drum, a Bible, and a copy of the regulations. Yeah, Bristow.
Brody. Is it me? Is my name on one of them slips of paper?
Wait and see.
Well, we're all in it. No, we aren't. Sykes.
What about him?
Now, you said it'd be fair and square. His name wasn't in the draw. It couldn't be. He didn't come back last night.
He won't be back tonight either.
What do you mean?
He's deserted.
So you knew those letters were forgeries, Captain?
I was aware of their nature, Mr. Rodway. It was politically expedient. I'm now deeply ashamed of it.
And well, you might be. Oh, damn Fincham and his conniving. He can corrupt the best of us.
Perhaps. The fact remains, Captain, an attempt was made on your life. We must arrange for your future protection.
It won't be necessary. My wife and I will be going abroad within the next few days.
David, this is the first...
What absolute nonsense, boy. You're in the middle of an election campaign.
I intend to stand down.
Stand down? You can't retreat at the first salvo. You can't mean it.
If you do mean it, sir, our problem is solved. Naturally, we'll continue our investigations.
Mr. Rodway, I should like to discuss this matter with my son. In private, if you'd be so good.
Very good, sir. I trust you'll inform me of the outcome.
David, I can't believe you're serious. You may not be aware, but there were times when I entertained grave doubts about your character and abilities.
Oh, I was only too aware of it, sir. The General's son. What a horror of disgrace I had. And what a compulsion to seek it.
But you didn't. And when the test came, you acquitted yourself like a soldier and a man. Oh, David, if you knew the pride I feel. And now all this? I'm at a loss to understand it.
David. My husband. My gallant, brave husband. Well, don't you understand? He doesn't want to expose me to danger, even though it means that some would accuse him of running away.
Was that why you intended to go abroad?
Yes.
And I can only apologize.
But now he'll stay. We'll both stay. Isn't that so, David? No matter what.
No matter what.
Has supplied to amend his armed forces.
Where was this found?
On a rise of high ground, some distance from where the meeting was being held. Like most of the common, it's covered in gorse and undergrowth. I made a sketch, see?
Anything else?
Well, some of the bushes were flattened, although some person or persons have been struggling on the ground.
That's interesting.
Well, there could be no connection. I mean, when the local servant girls go out walking with their gentlemen friends, they often walk on the common.
What's he talking about?
He's just being coarse, Charlie. I must say this opens up new possibilities. Mary, did you notice a soldier in the crowd last night?
Yes, I saw him.
I think Captain Marchmont did too. Don't think he liked what he saw. Think you'd recognize him again?
Oh, I doubt it. I didn't pay particular attention.
It can be a long job going around all the regiments and barracks, isn't it? Even then it might be a wild goose chase.
No, we wouldn't have to do that. I didn't pay attention to his face because I was looking at the regimental insignia. I had a cousin who applied for a commission in that regiment. They turned him down because he had one flat foot.
Just one?
Yes, extraordinary, wasn't it? My aunt...
No, but Mary, what was the name of this regiment?
Cumberland Fusiliers.
Should be quite easy to find out where they're situated. Look, go there, find out how many men were off duty last night, who they were, and what they got up to.
You know, when I first joined...
Do it now, lad, will you? Do it now.
Rather a long shot, isn't it, Corky?
No longer than the shot that was fired last night. Don't be misled by the name of these county regiments, sir. They take their men from where they can find them. That could include Ireland.
Could your suspect be the rifleman?
It's possible. The shot was fired after it disappeared. He could have hidden the rifle in the bushes. One thing that puzzles me is Captain Marchmont appeared to recognize that soldier. Or was that just my imagination?
Oh, Corky, in what way was Marriott being coarse?
One man missing, Mr. Pike. Right, that's like so. Head on the report, sir.
How long has he been missing, sir?
How long has he been missing, Mr. Pike? He was absent from morning parade, sir. But the men have been confined to barracks ever since they arrived. How did he get out, Mr. Pike? Couldn't say, sir. He was not allowed out, sir.
I wonder if I might talk to the men individually, sir.
We have our procedures, Mr. Marriott. What did you wish to ascertain?
Well, when was his absence first noticed?
When was his absence first noticed, Mr. Pike?
I'll find out, sir. Ready? Sir. When did you notice that Sykes was missing?
Last night, sir, about 10:30.
Last night, sir? About 10:30.
Last night, about
Yes, thank you, Colonel, I heard. About 10:30, that's 2 hours after the shooting.
Have you any other questions?
No, I don't think so, thank you.
All right, Brady, that'll do.
Oh, was he an Irishman by any chance?
No, sir, he was not an Irishman. Evening meal, sir.
Very good, Mr. Pike.
Company! Attention! Gun! Dismiss! Go on outside, all the lot of you, on the double.
Well, thank you, Colonel. Fine body of men.
Oh, you think so, do you?
Aren't they, Colonel?
What do you say, Mr. Pike?
Oh, I could tell him, sir. A rebel, sir. A sloppy, undisciplined rebel. There's some real troublemakers among them.
Sykes?
One of the worst, sir. One of the very worst. Aren't you, there's some of them as you could call soldiers? Brodie, for instance, he's put time in, you see. You can always depend on the ones that have put time in, sir. Steady.
That will be all, Mr. Pike. Carry on.
Very good, sir.
Well, Colonel, your RSM isn't exactly bursting at the buttons with regimental pride.
No, he spoke the truth, unfortunately. Morale and discipline in this regiment is much to be desired. It's been deteriorating for months. One hesitates to criticize a fellow officer, especially when he's dead. But Colonel Bulstrode should have nipped this trouble in the bud.
Colonel Bulstrode?
My predecessor. I assumed command 14 months ago after he died of cholera. Excellent fellow, mark you, and a first-rate polo player, but not a man to take harsh decisions.
Well, thank you, Colonel. I wonder if you'd be good enough to inform us if Private Sykes returns.
Well, if you think it absolutely necessary. Though I find it rather fanciful to believe that he went absent without leave merely to shoot Sir John Fincham.
Well, we have reason to believe the bullet wasn't intended for Sir John.
Oh, then who?
Someone sitting beside him, a Captain Marshman.
Marshman? Good heavens.
You know him, sir?
Know him? Of course I know him. He was an officer in this regiment.
Was he?
Captain Marchmont's old regiment. I should have guessed his connection with Private Sykes. Does Griffin know Marchmont?
Yes, very well. It was most curious. He didn't actually criticize Marchmont, but I got the impression he didn't hold him in very high regard.
Oh, the fellow won the Victoria Cross.
A fact that seemed to surprise Colonel Griffin. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Marchmont was formerly Mrs. Briars.
Briars, that was Marchmont's junior officer, the one who was killed in action, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Captain Marchmont and Mrs. Briars were married a year later in England. Oh, before I left, Colonel Griffin said he'd examine the records to see if there was any connection between Private Sykes and Captain Marchmont, but it might take some time.
Oh, well, I better ask Marchmont myself. Excuse me.
Ask Chalky to get you a cup of tea, sir?
What about Sykes in the hospital?
All in good order. Now, the gates are covered and the guard command has been seen to. I want quietness and no breaking of the ranks.
Didn't none of you lot hear the lot, sir? What the blue blinding blazes are going on here?
Colonel's order, sir. Officer present. Bristow, pull out. Secure the Sergeant Major. You help Angus. Company! Hard! Hey! Up! Hey! Stop! Forward! Back!
He hasn't come round yet. They don't think he will, not after lying on Fursley Common for 2 nights with a fractured skull.
Seems you were after 2 men, not one. Just found a rifle in one of the ponds. Traces of blood on the butt. Used on this poor devil, most likely.
Well, no doubt Sergeant Cork will be able to tell us more about the other man when he gets back from Marshman's.
Perhaps he won't even got there yet. Look, you stay here in case he comes round. I'll see Colonel Griffin.
All right, sir. Sykes? Sykes, who attacked you? What was his name?
David.
David? Marshman? David Marshman?
King David. David. And Bathsheba.
Sykes? Sykes, listen to me.
Well, this is Sykes' pay book, so it must have been Sykes that you found. But I'm more to worry about than one soldier who's been injured in what was probably a drunken brawl.
Now, Colonel, you know there's more to it than that.
I know that more than a whole company have deserted from my regiment. A thing like that could blight a commanding officer's career. Blight it utterly.
Alarming, I'm sure, but that is a military matter.
Oh, you think so, do you? Have you ever seen a rogue elephant, Mr. Rodway? No. Then you cannot conceive the havoc it causes before it's finally destroyed. These men are the same.
You're not suggesting they may go on the rampage.
I'm suggesting precisely that. We've trained them to bloodshed and violence, and for the most admirable purposes, of course. But now they're on the loose without the restraints of discipline, and I tremble to think of the consequences. I shall require your fullest cooperation.
Of course. Have you any idea where they've gone?
None whatsoever. The sentries deserted with them after they attacked the guard commander. All I do know is they took with them arms and ammunition, and it won't be long before they find liquor. Soldiers without discipline are no more than an armed rabble. I pray they won't be a drunken rabble, too.
Apologize for disturbing this hour of night, ma'am, but I wonder if I could have a word with your husband.
Well, come in, Sergeant.
Thank you very much. Who the devil are you?
Private Bristow, number 742184. Company A, Cumberland Fusiliers. Sir, will you come with me, sir?
I'm damned if I will.
Sergeant, please. They're all over the house and in the grounds. Do as they say, please.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry to have to detain you, sir, but as soon as the runner told me you passed the outpost, I knew it had to be.
Outpost? What are you talking about? What the hell is going on here? I'm Sergeant Cork, Detective Department.
It's a general court-martial, sir.
It's a mutiny, Sergeant.
No, sir. With respect, sir. It'll all be done according to the regulations, or as near as we can get.
And may I inquire who is to be court-martialed?
Captain Marchman, sir.
Never heard such nonsense.
If you'd take a seat, sir. I promise you no innocents will be harmed so long as they behave in a fitting manner. That is, fitting to a court-martial.
I promise you plenty of those, Brodie, and yours will be the first.
No, sir. Captain Marchman will be the first. Aye, now we have all we need. A senior officer, a Bible, witnesses, and a copy of the regulations. This drumhead courts-martialed in hell will less.
I refuse to countenance this travesty.
You'll have to, sir, since you're giving the verdict.
No.
And the sentence? Who is to pronounce the sentence?
There's only one sentence allowed for this charge. The firing party's been picked on as a wall at the end of the garden.
A rope for all of you, for each and every one of you.
General, I suggest for the moment we humor this madman, these madmen. And what is your role in this, Brodie?
I bring the charges, sir, and try to prove them. It'll all be done fair
Oh,
and
yeah,
square.
I must say. And who is to defend the captain?
Oh, he's right. There's no prisoner's friend. I know me. Then it'll be over quick.
No, it'll be done properly. Aye, but who'll be the defending officer? He can't do it himself, and there's none of us to be fair enough. Who? It has to be you, sir. You neither love nor hate him.
Good heavens, I don't even know the charge.
Here, then. That's his citation. Defend him on that. As to the charge, will you declare the court-martial in session, sir? Very well. It is.
Look, if you have a complaint against this officer, why don't you take it to the proper quarters?
We've tried that, but we're soldiers and we have no rights. We gave you an empire that stretches from Peking to Dublin, but we've no rights. But we're still entitled to justice, and we will have that. Drama! serving men of this regiment have put their names to paper, declaring they seek only the justice they're entitled to and have no faults against the flag or Her Majesty. That's on their account that I bring the charges that you, Captain Marchmont, caused the death of 1 officer, 2 NCOs, and 19 private soldiers.
That's absurd. Soldiers expected to die on the field of
Aye,
battle.
but not for no reason. Answer the charge.
It isn't true.
When you took that patrol out, what were your orders?
I refuse to be questioned. Colonel Bulstrode had information that the tribesmen were gathering for an attack at a village some 5 miles distant. He ordered me to take out a patrol and see if this was so.
Did he order you to engage them?
We were ambushed, you know that.
Sir, if you had a patrol 40 strong and you met up with an enemy force 8 times stronger, would you attack?
Since the purpose was reconnaissance, I wouldn't feel obliged to. I should retire in an orderly manner and make my report.
But read the citation. It was an ambush.
Was it? Bristow, step forward and say your piece.
Sir! I swear to tell the truth, so help me God.
You were on that patrol, Bristow. What happened when you reached the village?
Well, Captain Marchmont ordered the column just outside. Then he sent me and Jim Bell forward to scout it. We worked our way around quite as you like, and got atop a hillock on the other side. We weren't so quiet coming back, I'll tell you. Hell for leather it was.
Why?
Because the place was swarming with Afghans. Better than 300 there were. Just lying, waiting for us with their long guns ready. Anyhow, we got back safe enough, and Jim Bell reported what he'd seen to the captain. He could have knocked me down when he ordered Lieutenant Briers to take his company in. The scout told me the village was deserted. Now, why would he say that when he knew different?
One moment. You didn't make your report along with the other scout.
Well, there was no cause for us both to do it.
Then why is this other man, this Jim Bell here, tell us what he reported?
Because he's dead, like the rest of them dead.
In that case, no one knows what he reported.
The place was full of tribes, and what else would he
Are you
say?
seriously suggesting that Captain Marchmont would send his company of men against such odds? What reason could he have?
Oh, he had his reasons, sir, and we'll come to them later.
Not a religious man, I'd have said. Maybe his parents were. Curious how the mind turns back to faith at the end. David and Bathsheba. When is the time I've heard that story in the chapel as a boy?
I only recognize it as Old Testament, I'm afraid.
Shame on you. The 2nd book of Samuel. King David coveted Bathsheba, wife of Uriah. So he sent Uriah into battle, knowing he'd be killed. And the Lord's hand was heavy on David and all of his house.
Now you've heard how Lieutenant Briers and his men were massacred as soon as they entered the village. Have you got any questions?
Not at the moment, no.
Stand down, Barker.
That's all. Supposition you still haven't proved that Captain Marchmont knew. He could have misunderstood the report.
Could he, sir? Could any officer misunderstand a message like that?
It's not probable.
Right. Now, I'll tell you what happened next. And I swear before God it's a true account. When they finished off Briers' company, and they finished them off quick, the tribesmen began swarming out the village and all over us. He wasn't expecting that.
I made the usual dispositions for defense.
Liar! It was the sergeant who ordered us to form the square. And to form it round you where you lay with your mouth hanging open in terror.
And where's the sergeant to confirm this?
Dead.
They're all dead.
I knew it, damn you! We held the tribesmen off, volley after volley, firing 16 rounds a minute, till the barrels were red hot, and we were down to our second last bullet. Oh, no, our last, mind. Oh, no. We'd seen what they did to their prisoners. Aye, and so had the captain. He jumped on his horse and galloped off, leaving us to face
I was
them.
going for hell. That's what the citation says.
Citation.
But it's based on the Colonel's report. You can't just dismiss it out of hand because it's inconvenient.
I was there! Colonel Bulstrode wasn't. And if you suspected anything, well, he... What kind of man was he, sir? The kind who'd risk offending you by calling your son a coward?
I refuse to comment. My son was badly wounded in a single-handed charge against the enemy.
There was no enemy where he was going. And it was one of our own bullets that took him. I shot him as he fled.
It's not true. It's none of it true. Of course, it isn't true. It's merely plausible. All Captain Marchmont stands accused of is bad judgment.
Oh, no, sir, a sight more than that. And again, the man who could tell you is dead.
Another one dead. It's very convenient for you that most of your witnesses were killed in the action.
Not this one. He was killed last night on Pursley Common. His name was Sykes, and I killed him.
You killed Sykes?
It had to be. Hey, and I dare say I'll hang for it. But there is someone here who can speak for him. Will you take the oath, ma'am?
Rowdy, I warn you!
I swear to tell the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, when you were married to Lieutenant Briers, you were in the habit of meeting Captain Marchmont, meeting him secretly and regularly behind the farrier's stable.
It is most insolent. I won't have my private business discussed like
It
this.
wasn't so private, ma'am, if you'll excuse my saying so. We all knew about it, and Sykes overheard you talking one night.
He was spying on us.
I am no defending him for it, but he heard what was said that night. You told Captain Marchmont that you wouldn't be seeing him again. There was no point, since the two of you could never be wed, do you remember?
Yes. I told him that I was fond of my husband, and I wouldn't hurt him by asking for a divorce. That we were married, till death did us part.
And Captain Marchmont said it could happen sooner than you thought.
What you're suggesting is monstrous.
10 days later, your husband was dead. Aye, and a lot of other good men besides. You've had enough. Now, what's the verdict?
No, that isn't what happened. No, please. I admit I ran. I can't help being afraid. You expected too much. But the rest, it's not true. It was an error of judgment. That is all. Felicity, an error of judgment. Oh, you don't believe. I didn't mean those men to die. Oh, Brody. All of it. I don't want to die!
Look at their faces. They know, so why do we wait?
Now, regulations, we must have the verdict.
We've left it too late, they're here! The verdict, sir!
Guilty.
The house is surrounded. I call on you to surrender your arms.
Very human nature hasn't changed much since the time of Israel. I must compliment you on your perception, Marriott, and your imagination.
What'll happen to the soldiers, sir?
Rhodey will hang.
And the others?
Fantasy. It wasn't a trial. It wasn't a court-martial. Nothing was proved. Nothing.
Sergeant, Captain Marchmont has gone elsewhere. In circumstances such as these, custom prescribes a certain course for an officer. I hope he may find the courage to take it. But perhaps I hope for too much.
And the Lord's hand was heavy on David and all of his house.